also be clear. The future is not just happening. The future is built by us, by a powerful community as you here in this room. We have the means to improve the states of the world. But two conditions are necessary. The first one is that we act all as stakeholders of larger communities. That we serve not our only self-interests, but we serve the community. That's what we call stakeholder responsibility. And second, that we collaborate.
Ideological subversion is the process which is legitimate, overt, and open. You can see it with your own eyes. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country.
On this episode of Just Informed Talk, 5 years, 17 days in the digital gulag, I have finally returned thanks to a number of things which we're going to cover in today's show. I hope you guys are ready to get this party started once again. Stay tuned. We're going to do it right now. Hi, welcome to another Just Informed Talk show. I mean, we're back. I don't even know what to say. It's been a wild ride. You know, for all of you guys out there listening who haven't been following, it's been a wild journey. We went into the digital gulag for the last 5 years and 17 days. 17 is an interesting number for me to pop out on the other side of it, but here we are. We're back. Now, there's been a wild sequence of events that has led to this channel being brought back, and I could tell you all about it, but suffice to say that there's not enough time to really get into the nitty-gritty details of it all. I'll give you kind of the brief summary of it all, because I know a lot of you out there probably haven't even been following me for the last 5 years. You probably saw my channel get deleted in 2020 and then forgot about me. And now perhaps this channel's popped right back up in your timeline and you're like, what the hell? Who? Oh yeah, I remember watching this guy 5 years ago. Here he is again. Well, let me tell you what happened in a brief synopsis. This is the briefest way and the most concise way I can put it. I was deleted and censored after January 6th, but it was really 2 weeks before the 2020 election. I was banned off of YouTube. And my channel, with all of its videos and everything, was taken down. Now, this happened. It sucked. It was awful. I hated it. But it was just what I had to deal with. And now I'm back. And what happened to bring me back? Well, that's quite the story. And I'm going to tell you the whole story in the next upcoming days and weeks. I'm going to put together some long form videos that are going to explain exactly what happened. But to suffice it to say that I've spent the last 5 years in the digital gulag fighting for my right to speak freely. And here I am finally coming out on the other side with the freedom to say what I should have been able to say entirely for the last 5 years, but have been restricted from being able to share with you because of a number of different things. Now, I could get into the reasons behind it all. I think the beginning of this video where you saw those two clips that I purposely put together, Klaus Schwab and Yuri Bezmenov, those two clips combined explain exactly what was meant to happen to me as a content creator. This is exactly what they intended to happen. Now, it's a strange situation. I have a large amount of my videos back and I'm going to get more up online as we go, but they've censored and deleted a lot. I've gone through the whole gambit. I went into a lawsuit with many other YouTube content creators against Google. We fought them for the last, 4 years, 5 years. And now, finally, they've admitted that they were coerced by the government to delete our channels, which is why our channels were taken down. And now they've decided, for whatever reason, I'm sure out of their, magnanimous kindness, to bring us back on the platform. Now, I don't know what this is about, folks. I've been doing a lot of things in the meantime. I've run my YouTube channel, my BitChute channel. I've tried to keep those going. I had a radio show that I've been running for the last 2.5 years. I literally just stopped doing it, which is one of the craziest things. Talk about the serendipity of God in all of this. I had a radio show that I've been doing here in the Front Range of the Colorado Rockies, where I live now, in Colorado, of all places. Yeah, I know. But I had a radio show here in the Front Range, and we were broadcasting Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. I was the morning talk show. I did that for 2.5 years. And talk about the serendipity of God. I can't make this up. The final day of my show, and this is a show I decided to end. It wasn't that I was forced off air. They wanted me to keep going on air. They were, as a matter of fact, begging me to keep going on air. And I told them, no, I'm done. And it was just because I was getting to a point where I was like, all right, I'm kind of ready to move on and get into new things and do something different. So I decided, I was like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and hang it all up here. I'm going to hang it all up here and end it on October 30th, 2025. That was the day, Thursday. I didn't want to end on Halloween. I wanted to end the day before Halloween. So I decided to end it. And I end the radio show, Just Informed Talk Radio, 2.5 years, great viewership, great listenership, great audience, great everything. And what do you know? The minute I try to get out, they pull me back in. The day after my final radio show, we have YouTube reinstating my channel. Now, there's a lot of factors that play into this, and I'll tell you about them. Before we get into what happened, and I want to get into it because there is some stuff that happened here. For instance, the House Judiciary Committee with Jim Jordan basically put pressure on YouTube to come out, and they finally admitted, here it is. Google admits censorship under Biden, promises to end bans on YouTube accounts of thousands of Americans censored for political speech. Well, yours truly was included in that, believe it or not. Right? But get this. I was banned. I was brought back. Okay. We'll get into that in a minute. But I want to take a second and just talk about the serendipity of God. Because, ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you, the last day of my radio show, which I had been doing for the last 2.5 years, and a big one, I'm broadcasting into Denver, a big market. I mean, and I'm syndicated, and I'm doing good, but I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm ready to do something else. I'm tired. I'm done. The minute I was ready to get out, they pull me right back in by giving me back my YouTube channel. And I mean that in the most gracious of ways, because here's the thing. I enjoy this. I'm glad that I have my voice back. But ask yourself this question. I've spent the last 5 years and 17 days to the day, you can do the math, October 16th, 2020 is the last. It was 15th, but 16th was the day I was last in there. So I've been relegated to obscurity for the last 5 years. And what was my channel doing? And it's not braggadocious. This is not braggadocious. This is just plain facts. It was growing. It was going. It was, hundreds of thousands, millions and millions of views, talking about the corruption and the criminality. And we're going to get into all that too. This is the best part about it. I'm going to make this channel do what it did before and then some. I've learned. I've learned from all my mistakes, and I'm going to put out content that you guys are going to love. Trust me, I have content planned already that is going to be so epic that I really hope you guys stick around and stay tuned, because it is going to be so good. Because guess what? Over the last 5 years, I've had a lot of interesting things happen, and I've had a lot of epiphanal moments, and I've had a lot of things go on that have shown me that there are so many more stories to be told. And I'm going to tell them. But I'm back on YouTube. And this is huge. I mean, for a person like myself, I want to make this plea to all of you out there. I know wholeheartedly what it's been like on my end. And I'm sure to most of you, it's been not that big a deal that I'm not in your feed anymore, that I'm not in your daily, intake. But please let me be the first to tell you, I'm going to make this channel so freaking good that you guys are not going to want to tune out. And I promise you that. There's so much I have in line, so much I have in store, so many different types of content that are coming. It's going to be epic. So, with that being said, I want to thank you guys for tuning into this video. Now, you see here, Google has admitted to censorship under Biden. They promised to end the bans of YouTube accounts. That's why I'm back. Thousands of Americans who were censored for political speech. Jim Jordan, thank you to Jim Jordan. Shout out to Jim Jordan. He's one of the best congressmen out there. He fought for this, and this is part of the reason why I'm back. Not to mention Chris Armenta, our lawyer, my lawyer, and many others' lawyers. We're going to have people on the channel as guests who have had their channels restored, some who haven't. We're going to talk about that a little bit later as we go forward. That's going to be interesting. But many of the creators who I enjoined myself with to fight against Google on this really seminal moment to say, hey, free speech matters, they have had their channels restored, so that's awesome. But Google admitted to the House Judiciary Committee, the Biden administration pressured Google to censor Americans. Well, that's exactly what our lawsuit was about. We filed a lawsuit in federal court against Google, citing that exact claim, saying that they were being censored by the administration to take us off the platform. And turns out that was true. And it turns out now that they're reinstating and restoring our accounts because of it. And we'll see what happens from here. I'm not going to get into that. But the Biden administration censorship pressure was unacceptable and wrong, according to the lawyers at YouTube. Public debate should never come at the expense of relying authorities. The company will never use third-party fact checkers. Oh, great. So all this stuff is what they came down to. But trust me when I say there's more to come. Google's reinstated banned YouTube accounts and censored YouTube accounts. Yep, I am one of them. That's why I'm back. Michael Schellenberger saying here, finally, Google admits that the Biden White House demanded censorship of legal content and that the European censorship law could require it and other tech companies to remove lawful content both within and outside of the EU. See, this is what we talked about. Zach Voorhees explained all of this in his document drop where he said that Google YouTube was opting for the European model, which was predicated on the idea that it's freedom of expression over freedom of speech, meaning that freedom of expression versus freedom of speech is interesting because freedom of speech is I can say whatever I want as long as it's not, inciting violence, etc. But freedom of expression is, oh, well, if you say something that I don't agree or that maybe offends me or makes me feel scared to say my opinion, then you shouldn't have a freedom to speak. That's free expression versus free speech. So this is what we've overcome. And let me just say this. Thank you so much to all of you guys out there listening right now. If you've clicked on this video and you've made it this far, like, share, subscribe, share this with your family, friends. Man, help me get this back up and going, because that's what's most important right now for me on my personal level. Like, I mean, I'm asking this as a personal favor. If you've liked my content in the past and you have faith that I'm telling you the truth, that the content I have planned for this channel is going to be so epic and awesome that it's going to be great, please share it, like it, subscribe, all that if you're not already. But that's what we're facing. Okay? And I'll tell you this, Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes had their moment, which was a test. It was a stress test of YouTube to see what channels would be allowed back on. And I'm going to advocate for them and anyone else whose channel is not on currently. My friend Sean Turnbull of of SGT Report is still not reinstated. So he needs to be reinstated. Alex Jones needs to be reinstated. Nick Fuentes needs to be reinstated. I think that what we have to get back to is free speech. We have to get back to free speech. It is going to drive me absolutely mad if we do not. So here's my plea to all of you out there. Listen to me when I say this. I'm going to make this channel really awesome. I'm going to work every day, day and night, to give you content that is valuable, that is enjoyable, and that is entertaining, but also informative. And the only thing I ask in return is that A, you watch the videos, B, you share them when you can, C, you like them if you can, and D, that you support these other creators who I'm going to bring on the channel and help get their channels restored or reinstated. Restored or reinstated, excuse me. But that's what I ask. That's the simplest way I could ask it. So, we always leave you with some scripture. Today's no different. And we're going to start in Genesis. I know, right? How crazy. Genesis chapter 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness covered the surface of the watery depths, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the surface of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and he called the darkness night. Evening came, then the morning, the first day. And I'm sharing that verse with you specifically for this reason. Because the darkness is passing, and we are back in the light. And although we have been striving to share the light throughout the darkness, That's something I've had to remind myself of through this whole journey, that I had to go through the darkness to get to the light. And that's why I'm so thankful to every one of you out there who has listened to the show, who has supported the show, even in its hiatus or whatever you want to call it. I didn't intentionally pull this channel down. It was pulled down, and now I'm back. And we're going to make the most of every second. So thank you guys. I love you guys. Share this, like it, get it out to your friends and family, and make sure that you continue to support it, because I'm telling you right now, I'm going to work my butt off to make this the best channel in or on YouTube. So we'll see you on the next one. Until then, I'm your host, Craig James. This is Just Informed Talk. Godspeed and God bless each and every one of you patriots.